welcome back to Beekeeping Basics with Danny. So today I'm a little bit behind with the videos, been relatively busy. It's the 22nd of May today. So a week ago we done the merge. We had the mated queen in this and we've done the merge with the newspaper in there. So fingers crossed, we're going to open this up and we're going to have a look and make sure that they've all merged basically, and remove the newspaper. And I do have some supers around the corner what was originally on there, and we're going to replace them. So let's get in there and have a look. Okay, so we're all set with the smoke around the corner. There's the supers, got the queen excluder ready to go back on there as well. So let's have a look at where we're at. Just checking the lid, make sure there's nothing in there that we don't want. It's actually a few wood lice and stuff. So start with taking the lid off. Crown board. Still doesn't look to me like they've got through the newspaper, which is frustrating, because if they haven't, we need to do something about that. And obviously this top bit has the queen in it. Yeah, they've got through the newspaper now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this, just checking to make sure our queen's not up here. So starting to bring out the foundation, which is great. Obviously the queen was in this box in the very beginning when we done the merge, so if she's not up here, then hopefully she's down there. So yeah, they've ate through that newspaper. That's a great start. And fingers crossed with this one. It has merged. Well, there's cat brood up there, look. See if we can see any new larvae. Yes, there's all new larvae around there. So the queen's been laying up here. And she's not actually on there. So fingers crossed this is how we actually need it, because we've had a little bit of ups and downs with the other one where we lost the queen. Cat brooders emerged on that big section there, and on that side. So I'm going to keep an eye out, fresh new bees in there where that's all emerged. And this will start really picking up if they've all accepted and the queen's all good. Oh, and there's the queen up the top here. So there she is with the blue spot on her that we marked ourselves. She's just walking around there. So what I'll do is I'll wait till she gets wherever she wants to go rather than on there. So she's hanging around on the bottom of it for some reason. It's a little way of hiding. I'll put that back in. She's munging around on the bottom of it, so I don't want to. That's good. That is a fantastic start, as we know they've not tried to kill that queen. So that is what we was hoping for, so we can get through this relatively quick. Lots of larvae going on, so excellent news. Just going to get through this bit quick so I can have a look at what's going on in the bottom box. We can get rid of that newspaper. Bringing out the comb on there, look. It's just great. So what we'll do is, I'm going to shuffle these around, because obviously, as you can see, I've got a double brood on here at the moment, and that's what I don't really want. So if I can get this off this newspaper, somehow, we don't want to move it with that newspaper on there. It's being a bit of a bugger. As we know, they do like to stick things. I'm going to put that onto that queen excluder, being very, very gentle. And we'll just stick the crown board on that for the time being. Well, the queen was in there, but she was on the bottom of them frames, so she could have gone down into here. Who knows? So let's get rid of this. And as you can see, we double layered it with the two layer, the newspaper and the brown paper, just to really get them bees to not attack each other. So we'll put that down there. We'll get rid of this bit of newspaper that's here. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I want to remove some of the stalls and put them in out of the way. So that's just an empty frame there. We're starting to fill it with nectar. I'm going to move that aside with that frame there, just for the time being. I'm going to see where we're at with these, because we need to move them ones in here. Filling that with nectar as well. I mean, I could double brood it. Do I want to do that? Not really, but I don't think I'm going to get X amount of frames in here. There's lots of free space in these, which is good. It's just a little play cut from the previous time. So it looks like she's been doing her business at the top as opposed to down the bottom. I'm going to have to, I think, take this off of its stand. And I may well swap them around and possibly just double brood this hive. They're all busy bees on there, and they seem to be filling it all up with plenty of stalls. Got a lot of dead newspaper down the bottom there. Just checking to see if there's any. Yeah, they throw it outside the hive. Obviously, bees do like to keep things clean. So it just doesn't look like the queen's ventured down here at all, which is fine. Just doing what she needs to at the top, so that's the main thing. Oh, she has been down here because there is some cap brood here, so that's good. Being mindful that the queen could have come down the bottom here, so she's been lying down. She has come down. Remember, this was hopelessly queenless, this hive, so we had nothing in here. So she's ventured between the two, and that is great news. Filling these up with stalls. Some bees there with some pollen on them. It's always good to see. Just have a proper check of what is going on. Well, we're going to remove that off of there. It's just comb, that's all it is. Doesn't need to be on there. Bees stuck on it. They seem happy enough doing what they need to do. So, let's get rid of that. It's just a big frame of honey there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back how it was. Moving that over like so. Also generally don't want to squash any bees if we can help it. You know, I'm not a lover of doing that. We all don't like that squashy sound when we squash a bee. So what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to remove this off and I'm going to put it onto here. I'm going to also put this frame back into here. Because I need to sort this out anyway, because I put the bottom entrance block all around the wrong way on this. Not the last time I had it apart. I want to clean that newspaper out as well, so if we can get under it, we will. It's not very awkward to split apart. There we go. So we're going to move that onto there like so. Again, trying to be gentle as we can. And as you can see, all the newspaper there at the bottom, and what I'd done was put this around the wrong way, if I can remember rightly. So we're going to swap that around the correct way. We've got rid of our paper. I'll just give that a sweep out in a moment. And then we can get this round its correct way without it all on the move, like so. We'll sort that in a minute. So what I want to do, I'm never going to lift that. That's going to be far too heavy. 2 brood boxes. So I'm going to put this one aside. We're going to put this one now at the bottom, making sure there's no bees there. There we go. Just getting this entrance block exactly how we want it. Oh, it's been a bit of a pain. There we go. That's it. Okay, so that's on there, like so. Now we're going to put this one on top of that one. Didn't really want a double brood, but there's not a lot I can do about that right now. It will just get this hive big and strong. Now we can add the queen excluder. But what I'm going to do is just grab my smoker, because when I put the queen excluder on there, what tends to happen is they all get trapped. And I'm not a lover of doing that. It's not fair on the bees, so. And then that lays nicely without trapping any bees. as we can see. I'm going to put that aside. And now what we're going to do is we have pretty much a whole super there full of honey, but we're going to make sure we give them these to keep them busy, because once that queen starts laying, she's going to start laying. So basically what we've got is 2 outside, not been combed out. This has been stored in the garage while I've done this merge. We've got that one there that has been combed, starting to been combed out. I've alternated them, whatever the word is. We've got that one there. We've got that one there. I might rearrange that, get that one into there, just to try and get them up this top. And then again, they just started bringing out the comb on it all. Hopefully that draws them up. That was fully combed out with a bit of nectar in there. And then the rest are just empty. So get that in its correct spacings, nice and tight. Otherwise the bees will comb it out and it becomes tricky. And we're going to put this one on the top regardless. And this one is pretty much full of honey. There is one, I think there's one frame in there that's not. I'll show you. Look at that. It's very nice to get rid of that bit of this. Probably could do a little bit more work on these. It's just nectar needs capping over on that one. So what I'm going to do is bring that one more in the middle. Take one that's relatively done on the outside. It gives them the opportunity to work on that more, because we all know that ones on the outside they don't really touch, but nice frames of honey there. Again. So it's been very warm. We did have a touch of rain. I don't know why that one's rocking. It's got that on the bottom, so we can remove that because that frame's actually rocking. I'm going to take that off of there. Do it like that. Nice clean hive tool. And that should stop that from rocking now. Yeah, and that sits in our treat. So, like I said before, let's get them all centralised and all closed up. And that's honey, that's honey, that's honey, that's honey. That's an empty frame, that's honey, that's pollen not been capped over yet. That's an empty frame, and we've got honey, 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 and honey. We have I started bringing this one out as we've seen, and we're going to have a double brood on this one. Let's get these bees really going. So that's good. That is what we want to see. So we'll get this all shut up. We had a bit of condensation on here, and that might just been because of the newspaper just not giving it that proper airflow. Okay, so that was a successful merge. So this originally was a swarm from that hive, and a nice mated queen in there. You might have seen the previous videos. I don't know how far and what I've done with the videos. That had a queen cell in it at one point, left it with one really good queen cell in there, and it hatched because we see it hatched, but she's never successfully made it back, so it made it hopelessly queenless. So that is a good little trick what you can do there. I'm going to have a look on this. There was foragers in and out of here for a while. There still is some foragers in there. It's a real shame because we do still have a few lost bees that really have not a lot to do. I could, I suppose. Well, I'm not going to shut it up because there is bees in there, and at the end of the day, I haven't got the heart for that. It is just lonely foragers in there, and they're up the top. Not really a lot that I can do. They will eventually just die off, and I will remove this. If I could help them, if I could get them into a cup or anything like that and put them into that hive, I would, but trust me, you're losing a fighting battle trying to do that. So we'll just let them live their last few lives just in this nuke box, and then we'll remove it. So I might just have a little look in the top of this one whilst I'm here. I'm not going to pull it apart. We've done an inspection on that not so long ago. That was really, really good. The hive there, we pulled down the queen cells. There's one queen cell in there. It's around about now she should have merged. So I'm not going to go in there and I'm not going to upset that. We'll give that one another week, and hopefully this time, hopefully, fingers crossed, we come back to a mated queen in that one. I've not been quite successful with taking queen cells off, leaving that one and that queen actually coming back. I've been fouled twice like that now, so we'll see what happens with that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, for me, at the end of the day, if it still stays hopelessly queenless, it might be that, you know, this hive here is booming, really is booming, and the minute I'm checking all the time for any swarm cells, because I do not want to lose that queen like I lost that queen. And the minute we see any swarm cells, I will split that hive straight into this nuke box, and then I will just do the same again. I will then just merge that with that, you know, it will be that simple. And then I've still kept my queen, and then what I would probably do, to be fair, is take all the queen cells down in that one, and then I would make that totally queenless, and I'd buy a mated queen for that one this time of the year. So let's have a quick look in the top of this. I just want to see how busy they are. We do have empty supers more down the bottom. So when I last went in here Sunday, so you know, they did have quite a bit of room. But while I'm out and about, oh, it's absolutely buzzing with bees up the top of here. That's really good. Might just have a look where we are with room and supers and what they're doing. Actually, bring the camera around. So yeah, we're just going to check room wise, because the last thing we want to do is not let these bees have a lot of room. Now we know there's a lot of bees up here, but like I said, it might just be because they're, you know, the honey, they've got honey stools up here. We'll have a little look, see how they're actually doing with these, making sure they're all nice and tight and closed. So that's actually been brought out nice. All of this has been brought out nice. So, you know, I'm pretty sure the one underneath and potentially the one underneath that, I've given ones to draw out. Yeah, so we're getting busy with these. So that's full of honey. They've drawn that one out. Has it got honey on it? No, they've drawn that out. They've drawn that out. That's got honey on it. So they're starting to work nicely on these. This is just an empty frame, and an empty frame. So we might shuffle these just slightly with with the fact of, you know, moving one like this over more to the outside. Gloves caught under there. We'll just have a little look at what's going on here, see how they're drawing this out now. As you can see, look, they started to draw that out, which is great. Starting to draw that out, and they're actually starting to feel that. Starting to draw that out and feel that. And then we have a full one of honey, and then the back one. So there is a bit of room in here for them bees. It's funny how they work. They like to finish off what they've started before they start with other stuff. But and again here, this was relatively empty, and they're very busy working on these. I'm not really going to upset them, so that they're starting to comb this and this out, and they're all on there. This is really combed out nicely. That's combed out, and it looks like they're starting to fill it. And there's a lot of bees, and they're really working on this. It's keeping them busy with them empty frames. It's always a good thing to do, you know, this time of year. Instead of putting an empty box of undrawn frames at the top and letting them bees go all through their existing honey ones, it doesn't hurt. Take them off, put a nice fresh one at the bottom, so in this brood area where they're really busy, they can come up, and it's going to give them something to do. It's going to keep them occupied. It's going to keep them away from wanting to start building swarm cells, etc. So we'll keep this all nice and tight, because they do like to build comb out in unnecessary areas. We'll just lose that there, and I'll put this back together because I think they're okay with room, as you can see. They've got, you know, they're going to be busy. Oh, this one is so heavy, and like I say, it's really packed out. Ooh. Making sure it's all back how it come off. And again with that one. And such a lovely sound and such a lovely smell. It really is. When you have days like this, lovely day, and you're going in your hives, a nice chilled one, rather than getting all hectic with splits and stuff like that. It really does make it tranquil and enjoyable. We had a bit of rain yesterday, which was well needed for these flowers that the bees, you know, pollinate off of. We hadn't had a lot of rain for quite a while, so we had a nice bit of rain yesterday. That was good, definitely needed. Okay, just checking in this lid, make sure there's nothing untoward in there. It seems like there's a bit of a flow on, because they are busy doing what they do best, drawing out comb and filling honey supers. So I'm not going to go into the brood area, because I went in there Sunday. So that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was only 4 days ago. It's no, you know, don't go in there for the fun of it, for the sake of it, because all you're going to do is just annoy the bees. You know, bees' worst enemy is the beekeeper, because we go into their house. So there we have it. And although I said I wasn't going to go in here, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to shift some of these around, and bring the outside ones that are doing relatively good like that more to the outside. These are cut comb frames, hence why they've got the red dot on them. So just having a look at that, see, that's absolutely beautiful cut comb frame there. That can go onto the outside, keeping these bees busy and what they need to be busy on. We'll offload that in the middle. I've also got, like, they're working on that. We do have one that they're still working on there, but we could maybe just give that a little swap around like that. What do we have? We have one bare one up there, which we just bring back to the outside, I think, because you know it'll take them a long time to get out to these outside ones. So if you just give them a swap about, if I had one that was completely capped over like that was, then I'd put that on this outside, but we haven't, so we're going to leave it like that for the time being. Hopefully we've got a virgin queen in there running around, but we're not even going to go down that road of having a look, feel that we don't need to. There's a queen excluder on there, so it was a real shame I lost that queen. It really was. It must have swarmed unbeknown to me. It's the only thing I can think what actually happened that day. But you know, this stuff happens. We just carry on doing what we need to do as a beekeeper. So a lot of stuff from the tree on these. That's the joys of having beehives under a tree. And so there we have it. So successful merge. Swap some supers about. Same with this one. Swap some supers about. Just remember, you know, you can put your supers at the bottom. Keep that brood area busy when they're coming up. Thinking, oh, you know, getting busy with combing the new frames out. It does no harm. So that one's going well. So they're all going well. I'm happy today. So on that note, until next time, ciao for now.